Everything out of me. They gonna get a Super Bowl out of me. Believe that. Believe that. I'm a Raven. It's on. All year. Every year.
Welcome in, everyone. Today I'm going to be bringing you my preview for the Ravens' Week 3 matchup against the Indianapolis Colts in Baltimore this Sunday afternoon at 1 p.m. So, the Ravens enter this matchup at 2-0 after winning their home opener against Houston Texans and coming off a big win this past Sunday against the Cincinnati Bengals in Cincinnati to not only take sole possession of first place in the division, but also to drop the Bengals to 0-2 and last in their division. The Colts, meanwhile, are 1-1, coming to Baltimore after losing their opener to the Jacksonville Jaguars 31-21, and then winning last week against the Houston Texans 31-20. The Colts sit in the middle of a three-way tie in their division with the Jags and Titans, but of course the Jags own the tiebreaker right now. So, as I've done in the past previews, we're going to start with the players to watch for the Colts team, beginning with whoever is starting at quarterback, because at the time of this recording being Wednesday night, we don't know who the Ravens are going to see, whether it's going to be Anthony Richardson or Gardner Minshew. Anthony Richardson left last week's game due to a hit that put him into concussion protocol, and we aren't sure if he's going to be ready to suit up this Sunday. But if he does, we know that we will be facing a very impressive physical specimen of a quarterback who is both dangerous with his legs and explosive with his arm. He had some accuracy concerns around him when he was drafted, but so far that hasn't seemed to hamper his success. At 6'4", 245 pounds, he has a lot to tackle, and when he chooses to run it, he is very effective at doing so, already rushing for 75 yards and 3 touchdowns on 13 rushing attempts. If he plays the Ravens defense, and especially our linebackers, they're going to need to be on their toes. Gardner Minshew, on the other hand, is a typical pocket passer, whose best trait is not making mistakes or giving the ball away. While not as threatening as a runner of the ball as Richardson may be, Minshew seems already to have good chemistry with receivers Michael Pittman Jr. and Josh Downs. Speaking of Pittman, he is our next Colts player to be on the lookout for. With 16 receptions, 153 yards, and a touchdown through 2 games, he is undeniably the leading receiver for this team, and with 23 targets so far, you can bet that the Ravens secondary will be seeing a lot of passes coming his way. The last player I have to watch out for the Colts is Zach Moss, who's going to be their lead running back for Sunday. He didn't play in Week 1, but in Week 2, he racked up 88 yards on 18 attempts, along with 4 receptions for 19 yards. I don't anticipate Moss being too much to handle running the ball, but as we saw with Mixon, running backs catching passes has been an issue for us so far. Alright, now we're going to move into the Ravens players to watch, and just like with the Colts, we're going to start with our QB, Lamar Jackson. So, Lamar has not had the blazing start to the season that some had anticipated, but while learning a new offense and working with several new weapons, and being behind a cobbled-together O-line, he has won both of the first 2 games, and in the game against the Bengals, he looked like much more relaxed and smooth in both his progressions, and he has definitely also shook off some rust that he built up since last December. I do hope and expect another step forward for him in this offense against an opponent who I had down on the start of the season as a momentum win, and nothing has changed my mind about that so far. Look for Lamar to play controlled football when passing, and still be a nightmare for defenses when running. Gus Edwards is our next Raven because even though he had less carries than Jackson or Justice Hill, he had more yards on the lone touchdown last week. I expect him to perform in a similar role this week, but hopefully get more touches, not only because he is the best and most efficient back we have, but also because he can wear down defensive lines to nothing by the 3rd and 4th quarter, allowing Lamar and company to do as they please. So, let Gus eat and the rest will follow. Next up is Zay Flowers, and just like Pittman has been for the Colts, Flowers has been our best and most consistent receiver through 2 games. However, in this game, I believe he will get his first NFL touchdown, but I don't know if it's going to be a receiving touchdown or something on the ground, as the Ravens have shown so far that they want to use him as much as possible in every aspect of the offense. The last Raven I'm expecting to have a big game is Roquan Smith, and after having a quiet game by his standards against the Bengals, I can see him coming out with a bang in this game. I wouldn't be surprised at all to see him leading the team in tackles again, and also recording at least one other big play, whether it be a sack, a tackle for a loss, forced fumble, or even an interception. It seems like anything is possible for this defense with Agent Zero on the field. So for my keys to victory, as you can see here, I've my main 4, and of those, 3 of them are centered around the defense, because if the defense can dominate the game from the start, like we did against the Texans, this will be a short and sweet game for the Ravens. No matter who the quarterback is for the Colts on Sunday, they will have a hard time being at all productive if they are running for their life, if they can't get the run game going, and they can't stay on the field on 3rd down. The Ravens will be able to pick this defense apart if their offense can't stay on the field and our running game grinds them down over 4 quarters. So on the screen now are some simple wants and expectations for this game that I'll be looking for in addition to my keys to victory. As you can see from what I have, most are centered around controlling the game and playing smart, disciplined football. Lastly, I wanted to have some fun with you all, so I decided that I want to start doing an over-under competition for each week based around several randomly selected stats for each team. So this week, the first one is quite obvious. Will Lamar throw for more than 203 yards against the Colts? The 203 comes from the average between Lamar's first 2 games. The second is, how many sacks will the Colts get on the Ravens, who gave up 4 against the Texans, but none against the Bengals? Third is, how many turnovers will the Colts have in the game? So far, they haven't had 1 yet this season, but the Ravens have caused 1 in their last 2 games. So, whose luck is going to run out first? Will the Colts finally turn the ball over, or will the Ravens fail to get a takeaway? The rushing yard total is based on an average of the first 2 games of the Ravens, so it's split right down the middle just like Lamar's passing yards. And last but not least, give me your winner and final score prediction for this game. I'll be putting my prediction down in the comments below, and I'd love to see what you guys have for all of yours. Just something fun to try. Alright, well that's going to do it for me today. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I look forward to watching the game this Sunday to see if our boys can improve to 3-0 and keep this train moving. I'll see you all after the game. Bye.